Hello. I don't know what is going on with my YouTube. I was right there and the button was gray and I couldn't touch it. It wouldn't bring me live. So I don't know what in the world. I'm going to have to experiment again. Thank you so much for coming over here. Now I was so ready. I had my music playing. This is what I play at the beginning of my classes. This is the music that starts my classes, and I usually play it at about 1 minute. Like when I see that the timer's at 1 minute, I turn on this music, and it kind of, helps the student to know that I'm there, that I'm ready, and it kind of puts them in a good mood, makes them kind of happy. So I kind of play this every single class, so when they hear it, maybe they'll think of me. Most of the time I play it. A couple times I played other songs, but it's a playlist. It's called Ukulele Morning Music for Classroom, Playground Music for Kids, and I play it every time. I just play it on my phone and they can hear it. And hello, Evelyn. Thank you for coming. Sorry for the mix up. I was right there. I know I was in the right place. And I thought maybe there's a setting that I missed or something. So I'm going to have to go back and recheck it. I like to have the link because then people can just click on the link but maybe I can just say, come to my channel and forget the link thing. So, thank you for coming, and I'm a little flustered. Hello, Danny. Finally, I get to have you on one of my lives. I've listened to Danny quite a bit, like I don't know when I started listening to Evelyn first, and I don't know if I got Danny from Evelyn or if Danny's name just popped up, and she looked like an interesting teacher, so I started listening to her lives when she was doing like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and sometimes even in the afternoon. So when I was busy, I would go ahead and listen and just kind of try and get to know other teachers. It's a windy road to get it right on YouTube Lives. Okay. Okay. Well, that's good. I'm glad to know I'm not the only one that has a little bit of trouble. Yeah, Danny, I know. You were saying you were talking too much, but I was listening. So as you're talking and you're saying how much you are doing YouTube, I'm thinking I'm probably listening too much, but I don't really watch much TV, and I usually am doing something else. So, yeah. So, I don't know how I started watching Evelyn. I just think I saw some of her videos and thought she just looks like a real person, and just I really liked her. Um, just real life, because that's me. I'm real life. Is this going to fit in with my life? Other people do this? What kind of other people do this type of thing? And I did watch every video I could find. I have watched for VIP Kid, because when I first got on to VIP Kid, I only know how to set up mine for 30 minutes before. Okay. So when I first started, it was just answering a Facebook ad. So I was flying like totally blind. And I just figured, well, I'm just going to keep going forward. And when they tell me no, then I'll stop, right? And I was just really surprised that I kept going and kept going and kept going. And it is not an easy job. Like, I think that some of the ads make it look like it's so easy. All you need is a 4-year degree and, you're in. It is not that easy. And I felt like there were a lot of, uh, how is the Invisalign going? The Invisalign does not hurt, honestly. It does not hurt at all. And, I am actually at the stage where they call it refinements. My teeth were not really that crooked. I have some old pictures of me from. It's really weird because I've never been a selfie person. I have never been a person to take pictures of myself. Even with my family, I have to force myself to get into the picture because I just don't like pictures of myself. And I have always been that way. And then I started making videos. But when I started Invisalign, um, I started VIP Kid. Then I went into the dentist. And the dentist, I had one tooth that was bad, and it was half of almost a root canal, but I didn't go through with the root canal, so we had to take the root out. And then I really wanted a implant put there because it's a big tooth and it's almost the whole side of my mouth, and I really would like to chew on both sides of my mouth. And part of the reason is to save my teeth, so that my whole thing was I was touching in just one spot and my teeth are going to eventually crack. And eventually I won't be able to chew anything, is what was going to happen. So the guy said, before you get the implant, it would be really good if you could do Invisalign to keep your bite, make it all straight and in order so that when you bite down, it's not impact on two different spots. So really it wasn't for the looks. It was more to save my teeth. But I'm happy with the looks. I have never had perfectly straight teeth. My teeth weren't that bad, but I'm really surprised that I like the looks of the straight teeth, because I've never I don't I actually I probably criticized, all the young people now have perfectly straight teeth, and it's kind of annoying. It's like a little bit of a tooth out of the place is personality. It's not that big a deal to me. So and someone said that their daughter wants Invisalign. Heather's daughter wants Invisalign. Just, I think you're the one that said you watched my videos, Heather. Um, there is a way to remineralize your teeth without harsh treatments. Yeah, I like teeth with personality. I have no problem with it. It's just that, like I said, if their teeth aren't meeting and they're only meeting in one spot, eventually they are going to crack. And I think that's what happened over here. That's why my tooth was, it cracked and it broke, and I had a lot of pain. It was horrible. And I really don't want to go through that again. But I really wouldn't recommend Invisalign for young people. Maybe teenagers that really know, have them look into what, what the plan is and how it goes, and really have them consider it, because some of the things for kids that would be difficult is that you have to keep these in all the time, 22 out of 24 hours. So when you eat, you need to brush your teeth, and then you need to put them back in. And so that's a big thing about Invisalign. So I just want to finish. The other thing with Invisalign is that when you take them out, like say you go to a restaurant, you have to be good about putting them in your pocket. Do not wrap them in a napkin, because you will end up throwing them away, and then you'll be all messed up. Heather, can I give some advice? Cindy. Heather wants to give advice. Today, we're all main courses today, thank goodness, and I'm still exhausted. I actually had 8 classes. Well, I had 8 slots. I had one level 7 class, and they were one right after the other, no breaks. There was one point where I really needed to run to the restroom, and I was going to, and then I changed my mind, and then the kid was like 5 minutes late. So this is my trick. The trick for using the bathroom if your student is late. Okay, this is an iPad hack. So you can take your iPad to the bathroom, sign into your class on your iPad, which is very easy to do. You go to the HD app, sign in, go to your class, enter the classroom, turn the camera off. That's the only thing is I would turn, or just face it toward the front, face it toward the ceiling. Turn the sound off, face it toward the ceiling. Then you'll know if somebody comes. So I have done that before, um, and the student never came, but it was just a way for me to be sure. Today I had to go in between classes, so I made sure I finished right at the 5 minute, ran, which my bathroom's right close by, and came back within 10 seconds. That was the closest I've ever come, but I left my computer on this time. So I figured I'm just going to try to run and come back, and it worked. So Heather says cod liver oil and coconut oil can mineralize your teeth. I've heard that coconut oil, I've tried the oil pulling, and it did seem to, help. I have not tried the cod liver oil. I do, one of my MLM businesses is just, dabbling, is Norwex, and they have a really good toothbrush. And I'm anxious to find out when I go to get my cleaning the next time how well it cleaned my teeth, because the last cleaning I had a lot of plaque and it was not fun. So I'm hoping that they're going to be impressed with how clean my teeth are. That's what I've heard. It's a $20 toothbrush, and it has one extra brush to it. So it's like $20 for two toothbrushes essentially. And it has a silver in it, which is Norwex is famous for, the backlock, which is good cleaning, as well as it does not harbor bacteria in it. So you don't have to keep buying new toothbrushes. So that's what I've been using. I love toothbrushes. I need a new head for my Oral-B. I was looking into getting like I did get a hand electric one to see how I liked it. I felt like it was a little rough. I kind of would like the water one, but I'm going to see how well they think my teeth are with my Norwex, because Norwex is a cleaning company and they have amazing cloths and stuff like that. So I'm just anxious to find out how well the toothbrush, I mean, I like it, but how well is it going to work? So I am actually working for Teacher Kelly right now. She had some personal things she had to do, couldn't make it today, so I am taking her place. So I appreciate you guys coming. So we're talking about teeth. The Invisalign's going well. I did make a video. I have to put it up on. They have, like, you go through one process and then they rescan your teeth, and then you go through what they call the refinement stage. So that's what I'm in right now. I'm in the refinement stage, and it's going well. My bite was not good when I was done. I'm like, this can't be done. I can't stop like this, because I still had a space, and my teeth weren't in line properly. But I think I've only changed out twice with my refinements, and so far I see that it's getting close to perfect. So I'm pretty excited. And it is costing me a lot of money. So I would not be doing this if it weren't for VIP Kid. VIP Kid has given me the opportunity to do something superfluous for myself. I don't really think it's just for myself. It's not just for cosmetic. It is to save my teeth. So someday down the road, I'm not looking at false teeth or root canals or, other painful procedures. I'm hoping this is going to stick. So I don't see any issues with your teeth. Well, I still have an overbite. So actually, I still have my retainers on. So it fills in a little bit of the overbite. When I take the retainers out, there's still a little space. And for the amount of money I'm paying, like I could stop now and yeah, my teeth look great. But if I'm going to pay all this money, I'm going to get it exactly right. I'm not stopping until they are exactly right, because why pay all the money for almost, you know? And what you do is you pay one price and I am covered for 5 years. So I am going to do whatever it takes. And I don't think most people have worse teeth than me, and it takes a lot longer. So I have been fortunate. So for the 5,000, or no, not 5 years, it's about 4,000. My insurance was paying half. Um, you know, they haven't really had to do too much for me. So I don't mind being a little bit picky. But a lot of people have gone for 2 years and, you know, a lot longer than me with the Invisalign. So I'm glad I did it, you know. I mean, it's expensive, but there's a lot of people doing it. You'd be surprised. Um, so I do not take days off. I took days off for vacation. I went to Jamaica. I had to take time off then. I took time off a few different times, but I'm teaching every day. I am teaching this week. I'll have 8 classes every day. And so, like tonight, I have 1 class. Tomorrow, I have 2 classes. I'm trying to be really low on the nights, if none at all, because it does get tiring. I am tired. It is, like I was saying before, this is not an easy job. And I just want to tell you guys that I have so much respect for you girls at, you know, the 6 people watching right now. You are hard workers. This is not an easy job. It is a fun job. It's enjoyable, but it is work. I mean, I enjoy being busy. I enjoy learning new things. Um, and this is like, I've been home with my kids and you can kind of pick and choose what you do. And if you wake up, you have a headache, you can take a break. You can lay down and just say, I have a headache today. I just can't keep going. Or, you know, let's just go on a walk. Or, you know, yes, I'm with my kids. Yes, it's work being home with the kids, but I can make choices. But people that do this job every day, you wake up with a headache, you got to put a smile on. And I'm telling you, those level ones are work. Like, you know, you have to be busy. You have to have things ready for them. Um, Level 7, honestly, is not easy. It's not easy. It is, I love level 7 and it is easy, but it's not easy. This is a job, and I really, really respect you guys. Cindy, I think being a classroom teacher is hard. Being a classroom teacher is hard. Yes, it is hard. It totally is hard. You know, the thing is, if you're a teacher and you love it, you just do it. It just comes out of you. I don't know. It's just, I don't, I just love it. I do love it. Um, But like I said before, I have to do a second job, and this helps me so I have extra money because I have kids in school. It actually costs me more money to teach at a school because it's not public school, so they don't get to go for free. And if I taught at public school, I'd get paid plus my kids would go for free. But I go to a Christian school, so I have to pay for it, and they can't really pay me much. So the second job allows me to be able to do it all. So I do it all, folks, and I come home and I cook and clean and I have to manage everything, and it is what it is. Thank you, Marianne. But I'm just so, you know, when I started doing VIP Kid, it looked fun. I watched the videos. I knew what I was getting into. Um, but then when I got onto Facebook and I found so many awesome teachers, it almost makes me want to cry because it's a world that I never expected. Really, because I've been home, I have been, I have some good friends, but not all my friends are teachers, and not all my friends do BIP Kid. It's a total world all its own. It's just so awesome. I love it. And I'm just thankful that I've connected with other teachers. And I would totally recommend this job to my teacher friends. And being a mom of 13 has got to be hard. It is hard. I've had some really hard days. And I want to say to Kim, her little talk was timely. I'll just say that because I'm on YouTube Live. But I really appreciate the encouragement, and when I'm going to make a video, I don't know if it'll be today or tomorrow, about MLM business. And that is the same thing, this is, we need encouragement. I need encouragement. I need, um, people to just like push me along and to tell me to keep going. And I just really appreciate it. And I'm thankful for all of you guys and for the VIP Kid community. And I have seen some negative stuff on the VIP Kid community. And it kind of hurts me because I'm thinking it's not VIP Kid that has the problem. It's we as people. We have, I've always worked with rules. I've always known there's rules. My kids have rules. We have rules and we have to figure out how to work around the rules. Now, as far as cancellation policy, I do think that needs to be reworked because, um, some people do have legitimate reasons why they might have to cancel. And I think it's a little rough, but I understand from VIP Kid perspective, if they open the door just a little bit for, you know, general cancellations, then the floodgates are going to open because we see that in America all the time. People in America, they're calling in because they want to go to the beach. They're calling in. My kids work at an ice cream shop, and their company is pretty good because they all work together and they can be honest. They can say, my family's going to the beach today. Could we switch, hours? And they don't have to lie about it, which is nice. My daughter works at an ice cream shop. There's probably maybe 10 people, and they all kind of switch out, and the owner is really gracious with them. But she tried to work at a grocery store, and those hours are set. If you call in, you better have a good reason. And so, you know, I just think that with VIP Kid, if they open the floodgate, they have to be able to have some accountability. And people, I know we're all teachers and we're all responsible and we're always honest and true and good, and we would never yeah, I know none of us would never do anything inappropriate in the cancellation world, but people are people and they take advantage, and even teachers, have done things. And we all kind of have to work within the boundaries because um yeah, I don't mind the parents seeing that on our record, so they can choose a reliable teacher. Yeah, I did at the beginning, I canceled a class because my daughter wanted me to go to a program at her church, and I only had one class that night. Wait a minute, that one I did do. I actually did a class at her church because she wanted me to go to her church. But there was a class that I canceled, and I didn't realize how serious it was. But it wasn't last minute. It was like 5 days ahead of time. It was like, I got the booking and I was really excited about it, but then something came up and I had to cancel, and it was days in advance. It wasn't like a last minute thing. So, I said, well, I have 6 cancellations, so I'll just cancel one. I'll be fine. I didn't realize how serious it would be, how it stayed. Like every time I turned on my portal, I saw one cancellation. It was like I couldn't wait to get that off. But that's the only one that I have canceled. And I regretted it because I didn't realize how serious it was. But I think there should be, like, if you're like 4 days before the class and you have to cancel, it should be a way that you can get a substitute or something, and so I just think that there should be some little bit of a leeway. I mean, the parents, like, I sat through a level 7. Saturday night was my only class from 9 to 10. And the girl, I had her on WeChat even, and I sent her a message, it's time for class, and she never showed up and the parents never canceled. So maybe the parents don't know. I don't know how that works, but I had to sit for a whole hour or 50 minutes, so that's when I made a video of my grandson during the class. So the policy is for the newly post-college students. Oh my goodness, Danny, isn't that sad? This is how our colleges are turning out people that have these bad habits. It's true though. I went to a Christian college, and I went to this college years and years ago, and we were taught we had to be on time for every class, and we were in big trouble, like big trouble if we were late. If we, like, say you were through, we had to get up in the morning. Every morning at 7 a.m. your feet had to be on the floor. So if you didn't have a first hour class, or you wanted to sleep in or something, I had roommates that would kind of turn their feet over and put their feet on the floor, and as soon as the RA went by, they would crawl back into bed. And that was legal. Their feet had to be on the floor. When I was in college, if you missed more than 2 classes, you failed the class. Yeah, I didn't miss any classes. I did not take any days off of college. We had to go to bed at night at 11 p.m. No questions. When you're a senior, you got to stay up till midnight if you were a senior. But I got married in between my junior and senior year. Yeah, my college was super strict. The college is Bob Jones University, and they have totally slacked off, which I guess is okay for nowadays because they wouldn't get any students if they kept it the way it was. Back when I was in school, they talked about the rumor was that there were pink and blue sidewalks. Pink was for the girls, blue was for the boys. But that wasn't true. Okay, I'm gonna have to. Yeah, my kids are arguing right now. My dad was a pilot in the Air Force. His CO always taught them no excuses. I went to IU, and of course that was party central, but I was too old to party. I had a family to take care of. Oh yeah. So I got married in between my junior and senior year, and I still went to bed at 11 o'clock. I mean, we worked hard, and we went to college, and we had a life, so it was important for us to get our rest. So I don't know if there's, oh yeah, I probably do have a mute button. My kids are in the other room arguing. So that's what's hard. My last 3 kids, they like to argue, and that's not good. I think perhaps kids should take a year off or 2 off to experience life before going in right away and possibly failing. You can't hear the kids good. They're old enough to know better, but they usually argue about whose turn it is on the video game, which I will get them off of. I have a few things we're going to do this afternoon. Okay. 300 students. Our school had about 5,000. I think they're down to 2,000, um, no, 3,000 maybe. I don't know. But it's a good school. I mean, back to the pink and blue sidewalks. They didn't really have pink and blue sidewalks, but they did make us behave like, you weren't to. I'm on YouTube right now. You weren't allowed to like loiter, and you weren't allowed to even call each other across the dorm, boys to girls. You would plan to meet up at places and stuff like that. Obviously, I got engaged and I got married, so it didn't, ruin my life. Actually, it was good for us because we didn't do party. I mean, we had parties, but our parties were, we got a piece of tin foil and we would spread it out on the floor in the dorm, and then we put ice cream, and then we would put all the fixings for ice cream sundae, and we would all eat it. That was a party. Or we had pizza. We did a lot of fun stuff. And honestly, what kids do today is just ridiculous. I just can't even. It's not even reasonable. So I didn't miss anything. I had a good time. I loved it. I was thankful to get married. When we got married, we didn't party then either. We went out mini golf. We went to church. We did a lot of fun stuff. We just didn't, do partying, what people call partying today. And so, it was good. I don't regret it. And we were actually married for 3 years before my first daughter was born. So we did not get married because we had to get married. We were, good Christian kids. We got married because we knew that's what we were supposed to do if we wanted to be together. So we got married and we helped each other through college. I had 1 year left. He had 2 years left. And yeah, study parties. And so he worked my last year of college and I finished first. And then I worked when he went to college the last 2 years because he was in and out. He also worked, so we both worked during that time. Um, yeah, I didn't say there was, but some people think because I have 13 kids, I didn't say there was something wrong with getting married because you're pregnant. That wasn't my point. My point was some people think, I started having kids when I was 14. So they think, you must have started out right away. But actually our goal was to finish college. And then we said we wanted to have kids when we're done with college. And I went into labor the day my husband finished um, his last class. He came home. He's like, I'm done with college. He hadn't really marched yet, but he was done with all of his classes. I went into labor. She was born 2 days before his actual ceremony. So that day of his ceremony, I was in the hospital because I had to stay one extra day. And so let's see, we were married and I was 21. And then my first daughter was born when I was 24. And my husband and I are about the same age. So, yeah. Well, thank you. I appreciate that, Evelyn. I think I look younger now than I did probably when I had my 13th kid because I was always so tired. So, I am tired today because my husband got up at like 3 this morning because he drives and I think he left the house at 4 a.m. So thank you, Kim. I look young to have 13 kids. Thank you. I have been told I look young, and I've been told, me and my daughter are pretty good friends. So she doesn't like it that, you know, I look she looks at me like her mother, not her friend, but we are friends. So, yeah, we are good friends. How old is your youngest? My youngest is now 11. So I have my youngest is 11. I have a 13 and 14-year-old. Those are the three that I am with most of the time. Then I have a 16, almost 17-year-old. You're always moving. Yes, I am always moving. I joined a weight loss group in VIP Kid World. In January, I weighed myself, and I was surprised. I weighed more than I have weighed in many years. My thing was, some people when they have a baby, they gain weight. I actually did not try to diet at all, but I lost weight. I was actually so skinny that I looked like something was wrong with me. And so after my last one, I didn't really diet. I didn't try to lose weight at all. I just kind of just lived. And I gained a few pounds and it was okay with me. I wasn't like obsessing about anything. But when I weighed in January, I was like, okay, yeah, you weigh too much. So now I'm just trying to pull back and trying. I realized I either ate too much or I wasn't moving enough. Maybe I need to get up and get busy and start thinking about my health a little bit more because I am old. And I am okay with I'm okay with when the Lord takes me home, I'm okay with that. But the thing I don't want is pain. So when I had this tooth problem, I don't like pain. When you have a baby, my pregnancies were fine. The deliveries were difficult. So I realized I don't like pain. So if I stay healthy, then I can try to avoid pain as much as possible. And when the time comes, the Lord takes me home, I hope it's, kind of quick because I don't want to, but it's in the Lord's hands. Okay. And so, yeah. And so I just feel like I don't like pain personally, and I don't want my kids to have to deal with me in pain. But I know that if kids have a mother who doesn't feel good and they have to help her, they actually are sometimes better off because they learn to think outside of their own little world. And sometimes I feel like my kids are spoiled because I do I'm okay. Like I have not had a lot of problems. So I did have 2 miscarriages, which were pretty scary, but I didn't have any pain. Like I just had really bad hemorrhaging problems. So like, I was hemorrhaging, I could have probably bled to death. So that's why I was concerned with Evelyn when she went through her troubles to make sure she takes care of herself, because when you're going through it, you don't think about I still, even though I was having a miscarriage, I didn't think about myself. I'm just thinking about my kids and how are they going to react, and how, you know, I taking care of them and making sure they're okay. And so you don't think, I could die from this. If I don't get to the hospital right now, I could die. So, yeah. So, Evelyn, there's a church that has Zumba classes twice a week. Awesome. That's great. We actually have a lady that had visited our church. She grew up doing that kind of stuff, but she's like a half an hour away from me. And she's in really good shape. She's probably, I don't know, mid 30s to 40, and she's been doing this like all of her life. She's in good shape. And they do pretty well. They have like a family business and it goes really well. And it seems to be very fun. Like people want to do it for the fun of it. And you can be healthy and have fun at the same time. So that's good. So it's getting kind of long, and I appreciate you guys watching. I still have 6 people with me. I wanted to kind of share a little bit about what I did for rewards today. And because I have my table full of stuff, and I wanted to just share you because I do level 7 all the way to level 1, and I can teach any class at any lineup. That's what's really funny about this job. I love all the levels, and I think I like the variety, but it can be a little tricky on what do I do for rewards and how do I line everything up. And I'm not one to want to do like 5,000 files and pull everything out, and it just gets overwhelming. I think I saw a couple of you guys that said the same thing. So I wanted to share with you what I did. Okay, so for my first class today was a level 7. Level 7 does not need a lot of props. And sometimes you can use a prop. Um, Sometimes you don't need any. My student that I had this morning was very talkative, so she kind of carries the lesson. Sometimes I have to pull her back, make sure we cover everything because she'll just want to chit chat. She had friends that said that her friends were all going out on trips and she wasn't going to get to go on one. So she's telling me her friend was going to Japan and she's going to the Universal Studios and all that. So her lesson is pretty easy. I might pull out something just to be interesting, something that I have close by. Oh, I know what it was I showed her. I have these candy. This I think I used this in 2 or 3 of my 8 lessons today. This is candy. I use this for one kid had 0. And this kid was in level 1 and he's so smart. And sometimes you get these kids and you're like, this kid is way past this lesson, but you need to extend. So he had 0. And it was Mexico. Candy, 0. So I went like this and I went 0. And there was also sad in there. So I had candy, 0. And I was like, win, win. I was like, sometimes you do that as a teacher. You're like, how did I think of that? Like, I didn't even plan that. But this one has 0 in it because I love those. And like I said, I use that one for several of the lessons. Now I have this little, I'll show you my drawers here. I have drawers. That was from Missy Costello. She said the top drawer I have like stars. The middle drawer I have my pens. The next drawer I have props in baggies. This is how I do it. I just put a certain prop, like all of my Megs. Oh, this one's in the wrong one. All of my Megs are in one baggie. All of these birds. These are colorful birds. I'll use those sometimes. I have bugs. Most of mine these are my travel ones. So I have them in baggies and I can kind of pull them out. Like if we're talking about traveling, I can pull these out. These are good for a few different things. Check in. So I have that in my next drawer. Then I have food. I have fruit. I have candy. I have donuts, cookies, M&Ms. And this one I have Skittles. This is not used because I don't really like Skittles. So the Skittles are still in there. And I have, vegetables and fruit. And so that drawer is available at any time to grab something out of. And so that was my level 6. I used my candy and she loved it. She said her favorite was peanut M&Ms and I had the peanut M&Ms and they love chocolate. Then I had level 1 and for that one that was Africa. I don't remember what everything I did. Oh, I know. I did these happy stars. Okay, so these can work for anyone too. I just drew faces on these. I think I'm going to get my daughter to make some really fancier faces, but these worked for 2 or 3 of my lessons today. These can work for advanced students. Yeah, this can be advanced students, you just want to give them a star, give them a happy star, and all the faces are different. Or this can be for students that are, just new and you need to spend a lot of time with pronunciation. You just want a quick star, smack it up there. I think I'm going to print out some more fancier ones, but that was what I used today. I used this one for my level reading. I have some mics and they're all in different costumes. And this is a pirate. I taught the pirate lesson today, and the girl did not really know what a pirate was. So we had to talk a lot about pirates. So it was cool that I had Mike with his pirate costume on. I also have these. This is food, and I use this for the pirate one. Does the pirate like fish? Does the pirate like pizza? Does the pirate like eggs? And I also have, yeah, oh, I didn't even see that one, the AR pirate. I didn't see that. But I did for one, the candy one, the Mexico. I used the candy um, wig with all the candy. That was good. I also use these for my level 4 who's talking about Beijing, and I said, do they eat hamburgers in Beijing? Do they eat noodles in Beijing? He said, I don't know if they eat noodles in Beijing. And I can hold it up to the camera like that, so it's a little closer. He's like, I don't know if they eat. I said, I'm sure there's some kid crying in Beijing for noodles. I want noodles. And he laughed. And then at the very end, I said, do they eat this in Beijing? And he laughed. It's so funny. I love the stoic boys. I like to make them laugh. And he said, no. He said, no. Goodbye. Thank you for watching. So sometimes I'll try to use things that make them laugh and make them have fun. But those are basically all the props I used today. I also used, because we talked about taking a trip, take a trip to Beijing, traveling. I used that in a couple different classes. I used this today, Evelyn. I used this in a couple different classes. I used these little people. And I used this. I also used this to extend because my student was done like 5 minutes ahead of time and I had to do colors. So I did red, green, and I did my stars, which are yellow. And of course, Dino is yellow and all that. So I used those. And of course, I used Meg and Mike today. These I love that my friend made for me. So those are some of the props that I used today, and I will be putting them all away, and I will be using them again tomorrow. And I don't use a whole file full of a million different props. I use these same props quite a bit. And what I'll do if I have a day of full classes, sometimes I will actually use the same one all day for every single student. Like these birds, I have used these birds for 8 classes in a row. And you can extend a lot with these. They have colors. You can say where do birds live, what do they come out of, depending on the student. And I feel like something I would like to tell VIP kids, sometimes they ask questions, and maybe you guys could do it too. I think the AR stickers should be all the countries, like Egypt, Mexico, one for every country. So when we do that country, we can use the stickers for that country as a hat. I think that would be cool. That would be a good way to use, because some of those AR stickers I don't even use because I don't even know what they are. So that is I love to use lots of props. Yeah, I saw that, Marianne. I do have way more, but I find that I get too bogged down with the props, and I like to really concentrate on the lesson and not get too much into extra stuff. But I also, of course, use my whiteboard. This is my whiteboard. We did family. So I had the student write on the screen, and I wrote on my board. Heather, I hardly have any joint problems since I quit eating gluten. Oh, that's cool. But I'm hoping this will make it even better. Okay, well, that's the cayenne pepper. I love using the good ones. Yes, Cindy, I agree. Thank you. I was hoping you would agree with me. So, yeah. So I just really love this job and I'm thankful for you guys. Thank you for coming and watching. Thank you for participating. And I'm thankful. Now, when I start regular school, I won't be able to do lives at this time. So I was thinking of maybe trying live at a different time to maybe accommodate other teachers, but we do get so busy that it makes it hard to, do any more. This is my fan. My son, I got this at the dollar store. Yeah, it works pretty well too. Sometimes, oh yeah, and this is a prop I use every now and then. This is my Chihuahua. Hello, Heather. Okay, yeah, I need to take a nap too, but I don't know, probably later this afternoon. This is Cleo. Sometimes the kids are when the kids are like really quiet and they don't want to, like, I can't pull them out, I'll say, do you want to see my dog? And sometimes I'll show them right then. Sometimes I will show them at the end of class. If you have a good class and we have a few minutes left, I'll show you my dog, and they love it. One time I was teaching big and small, and somewhere in the lesson there was a dog, and it said, is it a big dog or a small dog? And he said, I have a big dog, and he turned it onto his dog, and I saw his dog. It was a big dog, and I said, I have a small dog. So I went and got my small dog, and so it was big dog, small dog, and it went right along with the lesson. So it was really fun. And Cleo is, yeah, we had another dog, and the dog got hit by a car last year. It was very sad. So Cleo was our adopted dog. The other dog was a miniature dachshund, which we loved so much. And we would love to have another one, but yeah, they cost a lot of money. So for now, we just have Cleo, and yeah, she's okay. She's kind of a, you know, kind of a troubled dog. The best part of her life is coming on to VIP Kid. So, well, thank you all for watching, and I'm going to end here, and I hope you enjoyed this little session. Thank you so much for coming. Oh, today I did do the family one, and I did show my family. This is when my youngest was a baby. So this is my youngest. He is now 11. And that's when we were all together at one point. I think one or two of them had moved out, but we were all together at that time. And I also use this sometimes. This is Dad, Mom. So, yeah. Well, thanks for watching, Danny. I do have some YouTube videos of my family. Like I put up a wedding video thanks to Kim. And then most of us were together when we went to the beach this summer, but there was 2 missing. So we had 11 of the 13 were together. But what was the other thing? We had a couple extras. So that weren't my biological kids, like their spouses or girlfriends or whatever. So we had a few extras. And I also have 4 grandkids. So, all right. So thank you for watching, and it's my watch later. Oh, okay. Great. Thank you for watching. Thank you for coming, and have a great day. Bye-bye.